Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a beautiful day. Best day ever. So today, what I'm talking about is this too is God. So our founder, Ernest Holmes, on occasion, he would place, this is show and tell, a vase of weeds on his dining room table. And he would do that, and I put the rose in there, but he would do that as a reminder that the creative essence, the creative intelligence of life that we call God, Spirit, the divine, flows equally through every living thing. Ernest said the only real difference between a weed and a rose is the value we give it. Let's think of that. The only difference is the value that we give it. So now as you look at this great bouquet, can you see that on Facebook land? I hope so. The great bouquet that I made, if you see only the rose as the most valuable thing in this vase, then we're missing God's greatest creation, which is everything. So let's breathe into that. Let's claim that today. This too is God. I love that Ernest would set weeds on his table periodically to remind him that everything is God. The value we give it is what's important. So let's think on the value today that we give everything. Okay? You good with that? Good. Some of you are. Because you see, our value is what returns to us. What we put out returns to us. Yes? We know this. Seeing God in expression, it's in our ideas. God expresses in our beliefs. Our thinking will create the value of what we see and what we feel. Or the lack of value creates our separation and our feeling of being separate from life. Anybody ever feel separate from life? I did. It's not fun, is it? So we want to create this atmosphere where we realize when we do feel separate from the goodness and the grace of God, that we stop in that moment and we breathe, wait a second. That's not true. I live in the light and the love and the glory of God. This is what I correct myself all the time in. Because you see, we claim it, we name it. We state this is good, or we say this is bad. You decide. It isn't an outside force that is claiming and declaring who we are or what life is all about. We are creators of the value we place on our lives. Hear that. We create our only value that we put on this life and on our life's events. We say, oh, it's good. Oh, that's bad. Oh, this is good. See, I believe the secret of life is the daily practice of reverence. Let's think of that word, reverence, for all of life. Everything. Each life, especially our own. This too is God. Opens us up. It opens the door for each one of us to make choices. To make the choices on how we will live in each moment. It isn't always easy. But let me tell you. It's life-affirming. It lifts us up. Because what beliefs or ideas will you choose today to carry out into the world and into the world that you give yourself? What will you choose for you today? Dr. David Hawkins, a renowned scientist, studied how to calibrate human consciousness. naming the lowest vibration that he calibrated, that he found as shame. Anybody feel ashamed anytime? Don't raise your hand. Just bless you. We all have. It's time to correct that. But that's the lowest vibration that he found. And the highest vibration he called enlightenment. Okay? He realized the higher the consciousness there radiated a beneficial and a healing effect on our personal life as it radiates out to the world around us. So we become transmitters of this radiant light of wherever our energy is. Those of us in spiritual community, we don't need a scientist, do we, to tell us that the vibrations of love is more powerful than that vibration of hatred. We know this. This is why we so confidently and surely do prayer as Susan did today. Because we know that the vibration of prayer is healing. It's up to each one of us to accept the healing of the words being spoken. We have learned truth, as a capital T, sets us, each and every one of us, free. However, I believe we each need to be reminded that our vibration, our belief, the way we think, clothes ourselves daily. That we think daily has an effect on all that's around us. It makes our flowers grow. We've seen that in test after test. And we have that effect on our personal lives as well as the lives of those around us. So when we sit here and allow that radiant light of love to expand in this room, that's why, I don't know about you, but it feels really good to be here, doesn't it? Yeah, because we can feel it. Hawkins, in his discovery of calibrating the emotions of love, have registered love at 500. And affected, he said it affected 750,000 people. Whoa! That's why it works when I drive on the freeway. I bless everybody. I just send them all love. Everybody drives correctly. It works. So 750 people, 750,000 people, excuse me, individuals calibrated at that lower level, which is 200, are affected by the calibration of love that we send out. Understanding the calibration of energy that Hawkins discovered tells me that our prayers do work when we stop and bless and send love out beyond these walls to the hearts of the world. That invisible current of love that we send in our prayers and our love of each other, in our love of family and friends and strangers, it works. And we have to work it to allow it to work through us and around us. When I see and hear conspiracy theories separating friends and families and countries, I send love, knowing clarity, truth, and awakening does make a difference. No matter what I'm seeing on the news, I am sending love to that issue, that event, that circumstance that raises us up. It's not up to me to know how that's going to happen. What's up to me and what's up to you, each one of us, is to allow that rise in the vibration to touch lives and hearts. Because I believe that's what heals. It's up to each one of us to free our own personal thinking. Our beliefs will either imprison us or set us free. So everybody breathe into that. What will you choose? Just take a breath. As Susan mentioned that I'm going to teach this class this week. The universe always has a plan. I have one more book left if any of you here want to take the class. And Matt Kahn, in this book that we're going to be studying starting this week, the first rule, he's got 10 rules. I love Matt Kahn. He's so easy. He's so easy to live with. And the first rule is, I've done nothing wrong. Now think about that. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, just say to yourself, I've done nothing wrong. Breathe. Everybody breathe. I've done nothing wrong. So when they said I was naughty, I really wasn't. And then Matt goes on to say, could it be possible, he says, that things you think you've done wrong, were actually exactly right for your highest evolution? Things that you thought you had done wrong is exactly right for your highest evolution. How are you going to feel? How are you going to act? Free. See, I find freedom in that. Because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel lighter. I know what it does is it raises the vibration of who I am, more loving toward myself. And if I'm feeling more loving toward myself, and you are too, then it's going to again move throughout the world we live in. So why not learn compassion and forgiveness for ourselves first? I used to say, cut yourself some slack. Teaching us to love more. What a simple and yet complex idea. To love more. Everybody breathe into that. Where can you see in your life that more love would make a difference? Maybe it's in your personal life. Maybe it's in your physical life. Maybe it's in the life of your family. It's not up to you to change anybody. But what is up to you and up to me is to send that love out. Because every event, every thought, every occurrence, every encounter, more love is being required, being asked of each one of us, in my opinion. Whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask, just love. Republicans or Democrats, love more. Hawkins said the vibration of love can affect 750,000. 1,000,000. No, 1,000. Big amount of people. More than come to this church. So just think of how powerful we are in sending hundreds of thousands of people the energy of our love. Makes a difference. And if not out there, it certainly does make a difference in you. I don't know about you, but I'm willing to believe that my vibration of love is more powerful than hate. Are you willing to believe that your vibration of love is more powerful than hate?
Yes.
Yes, good. See, I believe when we freely love ourselves, it opens us up to freely love others and to forgive mistakes. Because we have first forgiven ourselves. You've done nothing wrong. I don't know about you, but that just gives me the sense of being unleashed. Every once in a while, I let my dog be unleashed. Let's unleash ourselves. Let us each see life that we live as unlimited, filled with possibilities. If you feel you're experiencing only a little bit of good, get a bigger bucket. Get a bigger bucket to hold more good. Because that's up to you. If you come with a little bucket, that's how much you're going to get. Get a bigger bucket. We each have the inner life, that life that lives within us that is bigger than any external circumstance. Hear that. We each have an inner life that is bigger than any external circumstance. So when you see something outside of you that seems to have your attention, and it's not a happy attention, just stop and breathe. There is something greater that lives in me than this that is taking place. Yes?
Yes.
It's up to each one of us. Get a bigger bucket. I like that. And tell the universe to fill it up. Say, universe, fill this up with greater good than I have ever thought possible, knowing that your mental equivalent, that you have stated, has power and created and will create a huge response from the universe. Get a bigger bucket and claim it and accept it. Imagine yourself experiencing complete physical and emotional wellness and inner peace. You're going to breathe into that. Imagine. Imagine feeling perfectly loved within yourself. Giving thanks to your divine nature, your divine self. Wow. Imagine knowing you are just right. Now. You're just right. Today. You don't have to be any cuter, any smarter, any more brilliant. You're just right as you are. With your bucket overflowing with God's love. Feel that. See that. Imagine it. That your bucket overflows with God's love and God's guidance. So knowing that, how will you live? How will you do today? Every day? See, we are each definers and designers of our own life. So what will you design today? What will you choose today? It's all good. It's all God. There's no place, no event where God is not. Sometimes we have to look a little harder, but it's always there. Let's take that into prayer. So let's breathe into this sacred and holy place that we have created here, that vibration, that calibration of love that we have together created this powerful, powerful essence. Yes? This is all God. It's all good. There's only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is perfect, and that life is my life now. And what I know is true of me, I equally magnificently know lives and breathes within your very being. You are the beloved place where God shows up. You are not a mistake. You are that beloved essence of pure spirit. That brightness of the vibration of delight and joy and love and gratitude, that is filled to overflowing within yourself right now. We have filled this bucket today in a greater way, and we each today are committed to walking out in this life with a full overflowing bucket. Yes? And where there's a need for a healing, I call forth that miracle-working power of God to guide each and every one of us to the right and perfect outcome, to guide each and every one of us to the right and perfect situation, environment, circumstance. Because we have created that atmosphere of with God all things are possible. And so we anchor the possibilities of God's love this day. First for ourselves. And then for our family, our friends, and the hearts of the world. May all hearts be at peace. May all beings be filled to overflowing with the bucket of the divine, magnificent self. And greater than what I can speak in words, I know is already taking place in the mind of God, and I trust the divine within me and the divine that surrounds me and guides me through every moment, every day, every event. Each and every one of us is blessed and is a blessing. And we willingly and joyously walk into the mystery and the miracles in faith and trust that there is a power that guides us through every experience. So I just release this, my powerful word, into the ever-living, loving law of God that always says yes. And it returns to and through each and every one of us, multiplied, magnified, spilling over. And we love to say, I am full of it, you are full of it, because we know that we carry this giant bucket full of God's love. And if you're in agreement, please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen.